What is up, everybody? I haven't done a YouTube video for many months, if not years, possibly. But I wanted to get on here today and make a video regarding something I've been going through, and I have been going through for about 18 years of my life. So I have something called depersonalization disorder, derealism or disorder. And what that basically means is your brain protects you from things that you're, I guess, scared of, or what you fear, or things that you might deem dangerous and things like that. So common symptoms of depersonalization, derealism, are feeling like you're living in a dream, which is probably the biggest one for me. It's akin to brain fog, if you like. For me, like memory lapses and forgetting things almost instantly. So sort of like short-term memory loss, if you like. But it's a weird situation because it's like, you know full well that it's happened, but you can't comprehend that it has happened, sort of thing. So like this morning, I had cornflakes and coconut for breakfast. But like, I know that I've had that, but in my head, I can't recollect that actually happening. If that makes any sense. It's so strange and weird to discuss and to talk about. Another common symptom is sort of not being able to articulate how you're thinking and feeling. Nothing feels right, nothing feels correct. So obviously the realism, it makes you feel like nothing is real. So like, I could be in the living room with my kids, and I know what's going on, and I know the TV's on and the kids are playing and the dog's out and all that sort of stuff, but it doesn't feel real. It feels very not real. Like I said, it's very hard to articulate how you think and how you feel when you have this disorder. There's many other symptoms of it. There's just the main ones that I struggle with. I struggle to articulate how I think and feel a lot of the time. Forgetting things. I don't know if it's a memory thing or like a recall thing, like you're unable to recall things, or I don't know. I struggle very much with trying to explain how it feels, which makes me feel like when I tell psychiatrists or GPs or something that I'm saying the wrong thing, then I get the wrong treatment or whatever. But that's generally the gist of how it feels for me, and living in a dream. So for me, this bout of dissociation, if you like, or depersonalization, derealism, it's all the same thing. It started for me in March last year, and it's not stopped at all for the whole time, even up to date, every day. So I wake up sort of every day hoping things will get better or feel better, and that's not the case, which is strange because in the 30 years that I've been alive, and the 18 years that I've struggled with depersonalization, on a general statistics thing, whenever I've had it in the past, it's usually been for a couple of weeks to a couple of months, and then it goes. So this time around when I got it, it sort of hit me right at the beginning of COVID, pretty much. And I was at work. Then I got sent home around about the time everyone was getting sent home for self-isolation for the tiniest thing. So I got sent home, and I was at home for a week. And within that week, the depersonalisation and the derealism sort of set in. And when you have this sort of disorder, it's like a light switch. Like, it is that instant. As soon as you flick the light is on. That's that. It's that instant to go from having like normal cognitive function to you're in a dream. Nothing feels real. You're forgetting everything. You can't comprehend what's going on around you or articulate your thoughts. It's that quick. And for the most part, around that time, it was like, okay, so we're going through this again. Let's just go through it and see what happens, how long it lasts, when it goes. And that was nearly 2 years ago, and we're still in this situation now. So other things are sort of like, you can look at yourself in a mirror, or like I am now on a camera, and I'm seeing myself, but I don't feel like that's me. Like it's weird to say, like, I'm looking at me, I'm hearing me as I speak, and it just doesn't look or feel like me or sound like me a lot of the time. So basically, whatever's going on, if you have, first of all, let me say, if you have depersonalization or derealism or dissociation disorder, I feel for you so bad, because I have been going through this on and off, and apparently on for the foreseeable, for 18 years of my life. So I understand how you're feeling. I don't necessarily know how to get it under control or how to lessen the symptoms, if you like, but I am in comfort that I'm not the only person that is going through it. So it makes me feel good that I'm not losing my marbles. I am normal. Like, from the outside, I can imagine people perceive you as a normal person. You look normal, you sound normal, you do normal things, but to you, you don't. Like, nothing is real, nothing is normal. And sometimes I find things happen that in my head, I think that would never happen in real life. Like, even the smallest things, like I could be walking somewhere and think to myself, oh, what if I see this person? And this person lives nowhere near where I'm walking or whatever. And then I see that person. Like, it's weird, like things like that happen. And then I think that puts it, like, it doubles up the derealism, because then my brain starts thinking, well, that would never happen, but it's happened. Like, you've just seen that person, but they don't live nowhere near here. So I don't help myself, obviously. So yeah, this probably rambling, that happens a lot when you have this, because obviously you can't comprehend your own thoughts and articulate them the way in which that you would if you had a clear cognitive function. So I apologize if I am ranting, but I feel like I need to get this video out for myself, as well as to help others. And if not help, maybe just allow you to know that you're not the only person going through what you're going through, because you're not. There's thousands of people like us, unfortunately, but we're a community. So for me, in terms of trying to get help, I've tried various antidepressants, and stress relieving techniques and methods. I've tried meditation. I've tried medication like citalopram, sertraline, amitriptyline, and I recently just tried one called mirtazapine. Now, all of those pills for me didn't do anything. The worst one for me was the mirtazapine. I took it on a Tuesday and I didn't wake up until the Friday morning. Generally, the mirtazapine is prescribed if you've got insomnia, but I think they use it a lot of the time successfully in anxiety and depression, but for me it just didn't work. So on top of that, I've tried meditation. I find meditation helps, but it doesn't do what I need it to do. So I think what it does is it helps ground me and makes me realize that what I'm living isn't actually a dream and I am alive and things are real. But it's a short-term thing. It doesn't last very long. Within the next couple of 20 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever after the meditation, I'm back to sort of feeling like I'm in a dream again. But on top of that, I have a therapist that I've been seeing for about 2 months now, for 30-minute sessions every week or every 2 weeks or so. I think for the most part, at the beginning, when you get a therapist, they have this sort of fixed schedule to take you through as a sort of like a, what do you call it? Like a baseline thing to just see where you were at and what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So for me, when I started a couple of months ago, I was given like a behavioral sheet where I would have to fill in things that I found hard during the day. It could be anything, like going for a shower or brushing your teeth or making your breakfast or putting the bins out, to things like going out, like to the gym or to the cinema or any sort of social situation, and even things like paying bills and things like that. So for me, I don't really think that worked at all. And by the time I got to the realization that wasn't working for me and I needed to say, this isn't working for me, what I need is this and that, my therapist told me that she was leaving the role and they would put me onto a new therapist. So I've taken a back step. But my next therapy session is this Wednesday. I'm hoping I can get everything out that I want to say to her and start to sort of detangle all this stuff. I have rambled a lot about this thing and not given a lot of information, so I've just thought about it for a second. So I think with the depersonalization, derealism, dissociation, what it is at some point in your life, you have had a traumatic experience or something that you can't fully comprehend, or things that you want to forget, and triggers happen, and then your brain puts you into this sort of fight or flight state where it thinks it's protecting you. Let me tell you for a second, it's not protecting you. It's not. Your brain might think that, but in actuality, it makes it a fuck ton worse than protecting you. It makes it worse, and then in turn, you're scared of what you're going through because it's weird. It's completely, what it is like you've got high without getting high. So that's what it feels like. It feels like you are off of your fucking box on the best weed, whatever you've ever smoked or taken or whatever. That's what it feels like. So it's like that, but without the drugs to get you there, sort of thing. And yeah, your brain's doing it to protect you. It's not protecting you. It's making it worse. But it's all an underlying anxiety, depression thing. For me, what I'm currently on a journey to find out what the triggers are, what the anxiety is that has got me to this state. Like I said, I've been going through this for 18 years. It first happened when I was about 11 or 12 at secondary school, when I first started secondary school. I remember so well the first time it happened. I was fine. One night I was fine, went to bed. Me and my brothers all shared a room, went to bed. I was on a top bunk. I woke up in the morning, and there you go, depersonalization, derealism hit. I thought I was dying. I ran into my mum's room and I said, "Mum, I'm dying. I'm fucking dying. We need to go to the hospital or the doctors. We need to do something. I'm telling you, I'm dying right now." And my mum isn't the most sympathetic person, so all I got was, "Will you shut the fuck up and go back to bed?" But to be fair to her, she did take me to the doctors that day, and nothing came of it. They just asked me stupid questions like, "Do I smoke? Do I drink? I'm 12 years old. No, I fucking don't." But yeah, so when that first bout came, mate, it was so hard, and I was in that for most of my secondary school life, I think. So I moved schools in year just before year 9, so I started a new school in year 9. I think between the beginning of year 7 and year 8, the whole year was just derealism, depersonalization. I didn't know what it was then. In actuality, I've only just been sort of diagnosed and found out what all this sort of stuff is last year. So for like 17 years of my life, I had no idea what was going on, and I thought I was fucking broken. So yeah, for those 2 years growing up in school, I didn't go to school much in year 7 and 8. And on the days I did, I ended up leaving because I didn't feel right the whole time. I felt weird. I never felt like I was ever actually in the room, ever. And then I moved school, I moved house, moved in with my dad, and it got better. It got a lot better. I stopped feeling depersonalization. And then I think towards the end of secondary school, it happened again about 14, 15, 16. It happened again. I can't really remember how long that lasted or anything like that, but it went, but I don't remember when it went. And then it came back again when I was about 18. That was when my first daughter was born. And not to put the blame on her or anything, it's a big thing having a child, especially at 18 years old. So for me, that probably was a trigger, because I was probably scared of becoming a parent. I was anxious, I was worried I was going to let her down, I was, all these other things, so it probably all got on top of me. But then for the most part, between like 18 up to 29, I was fine. That was a big chunk. That was nearly 10 years of my life I was fine. And then last year, and then back in it again. But this is by far the worst time I've ever had. Depersonalization, derealism, dissociation. You might hear it be called DPD or DPDR or just DP. Yeah, this is by far the worst. Progressively got worse over time. So when it started, it was easy as it used to be. I could sail through it because I'd been through this a few times. I knew that at some point it would finish. At least I thought then it would. And then I think a lot of other things had happened during the journey to get to like today. So I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism. I was diagnosed with Addison's disease. And then I was undiagnosed with Addison's disease. Load of other things. I've had like MRIs on my head, which I'm still awaiting things. I've got scans left and right everywhere. So I think a lot of what I'm going through right now with this DPDR is a health anxiety thing. But when it first started, I didn't have any health issues. So I don't know. The thing with it is, what they say is, to get out of DPD is to live as if you don't have it. And that is by far the hardest. It's the easiest thing to say, but the hardest thing to do. Because when you wake up every day and you're living in a dream and nothing feels real and you can't fucking comprehend your own thoughts or words, or like someone will talk to you and 2 seconds later you've forgotten what they fucking said. It's not easy to live like you don't have it. Especially when you go outside of your comfort zone, such as your house. So because of this, I've lost my job, almost lost my relationship, almost lost my kids, all because of essentially anxiety and depression. I'm fully aware why it's happened. Like, I'm fully aware there's an anxiety thing, it's a depression thing. I'm completely aware of that. But that doesn't stop it happening. You need somehow, because as much as you're aware that you've got anxiety and depression, you then have to beat that anxiety and depression. And a lot of the time, on a personal level, I don't know what it's like for other people, but definitely for me, I'm anxious and I don't know why. So it's hard for me to beat something that I don't know why I've got it, if that makes sense. So I think a lot of the other times that I've ever had this, I could pinpoint things that were making me feel anxious. So like having my first daughter, or starting secondary school, that was overwhelming. Or I don't know, my nana and my granddad died both of bowel cancer once, and my nana was my fucking rock. Obviously they died once, you can't die twice. It's not an Eminem song. Yeah, my nana died of bowel cancer. My granddad died 4 years before her, but my nana was like my fucking rock. I would tell everything to her. She would just give me all the advice I need, the life advice and everything. And I think for the most part, even now, I don't think I've processed that loss at all. But yeah, like things, I've always been able to pinpoint things that have made me feel and fall into the depersonalization thing. But this time, I have no idea what has caused it, because like I say, I was just minding my own business. Work was going good. I was just about to become fully qualified level 2 preschool practitioner. I was doing real good at my job. Family life was going good. Like I wasn't concerned about COVID. I didn't care about it. I still not really bothered about it. I don't care. I mean, I got my vaccines and everything, but it's never been something to frighten me, to be fair. I've never been scared of COVID, so I don't, and which is weird because when this all happened, it sort of runs parallel to when all that kicked off, but I don't feel like I'm scared of COVID. I don't think I have been scared of COVID ever. I went for a long time without any jabs, and when you have hypothyroidism and essentially Addison's, it's very idealistic to have all the jabs that you can get, because you've got autoimmune diseases and your body doesn't even want you to be alive. So it's very ideal to get all of them, but I wasn't even bothered. But yeah, that's essentially my story. It's essentially a little bit of information surrounding depersonalization, derealism, dissociation, whatever you want to call it. It's information around that. It's my story. It's my journey. Thank you for watching. I know I've rambled, I've ranted, I've talked bollocks for the whole 30 minutes or whatever this is. And I'm not even going to edit this video at all because I haven't got the brain capacity for that. So I'm just going to throw it up, see what you guys say in the comments, and then maybe if you want another video, if you want me to make another video or more videos about this or hypothyroidism or Addison's or anything, let me know in the comments and we'll go through that. But yeah, ultimately, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you aren't. Throw a like up because it'd be great to feel the community love and warmth, if you like. And I'm going to make another video about something else related to all this sort of stuff. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.